My name is Elena Harper. I'm 29 years old, and for the past 7 years, I've worked as a live-in housekeeper for a wealthy family in Manhattan. Most people think cleaning houses is a small job, but to me, it's something I've always been proud of, because this job paid my bills, helped me take care of my mother when she was sick, and most importantly, it kept me independent. But the story I'm about to tell you isn't really about my job. It's about the day my stepsister tried to humiliate me in front of everyone and how karma showed up in a way she never expected. Before I continue, if you enjoy stories about family drama and unexpected karma, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who loves storytelling, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next story. Now, let me take you back to the night everything happened. I hadn't seen my stepsister Madison in almost 3 years, not because we lived far apart, but because after our parents passed away, Madison made it very clear that she didn't consider me family anymore. You see, Madison was my stepmother's daughter. When my father married her mother, Madison was already 16, and she hated the idea of sharing attention with me. I was 12 at the time, and from that moment forward, she treated me like an outsider. She mocked my clothes. She laughed at my part-time jobs. And when I decided not to go to college because I needed to work and support my mom, she called me a failure. So when I suddenly received an invitation to her 30th birthday party, I was surprised. The message simply said, "You should come. It's been years." For a moment, I thought maybe she had changed. Maybe time had softened things. Maybe she wanted to reconnect. So I bought a simple dress, wrapped a small birthday gift, and showed up at the luxury restaurant where the party was being held. The place was huge. Crystal chandeliers, live music, people dressed like they belonged on the cover of a magazine. And standing in the center of it all was Madison. Perfect makeup, expensive designer dress, a glass of champagne in her hand. When she saw me, her smile froze for half a second. Then she walked over. "Elena," she said slowly, "you actually came." I smiled awkwardly. "Yeah, you invited me." She looked me up and down, the kind of look that silently judges everything about you. Then she turned to the group of friends around her. "Oh, everyone, this is my stepsister." Someone asked politely, "What do you do?" Before I could answer, Madison laughed. "Oh, nothing impressive." She waved her hand dismissively. "She's basically a maid." The group chuckled, and suddenly I felt 12 years old again, standing in the hallway of our old house while Madison laughed at me. I forced a smile and said nothing, because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stay quiet. The night went on. Music played. Guests laughed. But every time Madison introduced me to someone, she repeated the same thing. "This is Elena. She cleans houses." Or, "She's like a professional maid." Eventually, I stepped outside onto the balcony to get some fresh air. That's when I heard a voice behind me. "You don't seem like someone who lets people talk to her that way." I turned around. Standing there was a man in his early 30s. Tall, confident, dressed in a tailored black suit. I recognized him instantly. Daniel Brooks, Madison's boyfriend, the tech entrepreneur everyone had been talking about all night. He walked closer. "Hi," he said. "I'm Daniel." "I know," I replied softly. He leaned against the railing beside me. I overheard what Madison said earlier. He paused. "Is it true?" I shrugged slightly. "Yes, I'm a housekeeper." He studied my face for a moment. Then he asked something unexpected. "Do you enjoy it?" No one had ever asked me that before. I nodded. "Yes, I do." He smiled. "You know, that's more impressive than you think." Before I could respond, Madison suddenly appeared. "There you are," she said, grabbing Daniel's arm. Then she looked at me with annoyance. "Oh, are you bothering him?" Daniel frowned. "She's not bothering me." Madison laughed. "Come on, Daniel. You don't have to be polite." Then she looked directly at me. You should probably head home soon anyway. My friends are starting to ask why a maid is at the party. The words hit like a slap, but before I could say anything, Daniel spoke. Madison. His tone was suddenly serious. She blinked. Yes. Why didn't you tell me Elena was your sister? Madison rolled her eyes. Because it's embarrassing. Silence fell between us. Daniel looked at her like he had just learned something important. Then he turned to me. Elena, can I ask you one more question? I nodded. Of course. Which company do you work for? I don't. I replied. I run my own cleaning service. Madison scoffed. Oh, please, it's just a few houses. Daniel tilted his head. How many employees? I hesitated. 32. Madison froze. What? Daniel's eyebrows lifted slightly. 32 employees? I nodded slowly. And 3 teams for commercial buildings. The balcony went completely silent. Madison stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. You're running a company? Yes. I said it calmly, because the truth didn't need to be dramatic. Daniel let out a quiet laugh. That's impressive. Then he said something that made Madison's face turn pale. My company is actually looking for a professional cleaning contract for our new offices. He looked at me. Would you be interested in bidding for it? I blinked in surprise. Of course. Madison grabbed his arm. Daniel, there are bigger companies for that. He looked at her. And she literally just told you she manages 32 employees. Madison opened her mouth, but no words came out. Then Daniel smiled at me. Honestly, Elena, I think we should talk about this tomorrow. And right there, in the middle of my stepsister's birthday party, everything changed. The same people who had laughed earlier were now staring at me with curiosity, respect, and a little shock. Madison looked furious. You never told me you had a company. I looked at her calmly. You never asked. I picked up my coat. Then I turned to Daniel. I'll send you my business information tomorrow. He nodded. I'll be waiting. As I walked toward the exit, I heard Madison arguing with him behind me. But I didn't stop, because for the first time in years, I didn't feel small anymore. I felt proud. And sometimes the best revenge isn't yelling. It's simply becoming someone people can't ignore.